Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That's a game that a lot of people are getting excited for. Tears of the Kingdom had a dev demo thing this week. Showed off a bunch of gameplay. I think it was like 10 minutes or so of gameplay. I watched bits and pieces of it and saw everyone's reaction to it. And what I got out of it is it looks like there are vehicles in the game that in some way, if not entirely, the player are crafting themselves for various purposes, to solve puzzles or whatever the fuck else, traverse certain areas, etc., whatever you can come up with for why you would build a vehicle in a Legend of Zelda game. Which my takeaway from that was everyone shitting on Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts back in the day. Where are you now? Where are you now? Because now you're getting it in your Legend of Zelda. It's gonna happen. I gotta be honest, I wasn't I mean, we all know I wasn't the world's biggest Breath of the Wild fan. I thought it was a good game. For the most part, the weapon degradation is horrendous, and the way that I describe, what they had dungeons, I'm gonna put in quotation marks, was more like, those little puzzles where you're outside the Dollarama and you put your dollar in and it's like a little fucking gotcha ball, and inside would be like one of those little things with the silver balls inside, and you're fucking trying to just... That's basically what The Legend of Zelda was for me for Breath of the Wild, was that. Which was to say not very Legend of Zelda-y in one of the largest parts of what makes the game up. Having a bunch of vehicle shit in The Legend of Zelda, fine. If it's done well, and I'm sure it will be, great. It's just not for me. And I know it's going to be getting a lot of people excited, but what makes me a little bit sad about it is that as somebody that is a fan of the more traditional Legend of Zelda titles, is that I know if this is popular, then it's going to feel like we're going to have even longer before I get, if ever, a taste of original quality Legend of Zelda dungeons. Actual dungeons with puzzles that aren't fucking gotcha balls and just real...
It's gone. It's over. That era is dead. It's gone.
Unfortunate. But yeah, that happened.
I thought Breath of the Wild was shit, personally. But I'm not a Zelda fan.
If they called it anything other than Zelda, I think it raises it a bit for me because my expectations are totally different.
I mean, to be fair, I wasn't particularly a huge fan of Ocarina of Time, although I played it really late. But I'm a massive fan of The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Which
is the formula of, the dungeons
amazing.
Are there and
It's top 3 Super Nintendo game of all time.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. So, I mean, I get it. It's a very successful game. A lot of people love Breath of the Wild. I have friends that are like, my age that are diehard, can't wait for the next game to come out. I get it. I don't try and correct them. It just wasn't for me. It felt like they were riding the wave of Dark Souls a little bit and wanted to give a little bit of a Dark Soulsy feel to the game, but it just didn't work well with the way Zelda is. I don't know. It was and I played it on the Switch. I played it on the handheld in the beginning.
Yeah.
And this shit just ran like ass, like fucking.
Oh, it doesn't matter what mode you're running in, it's ass. Yeah.
Yeah, and I put it on the dock mode, made it a little bit better, made it playable for sure. But man, the drop frames, it just wasn't it. It wasn't it for me. But I'm not a big fan of Zelda, so
you know what? If you gave me the Breath of the Wild, but you fucked off with the weapon degradation shit, or at the bare minimum, fucked off with the weapon degradation for the godforsaken Master Sword and Hylian Shield, would be nice. If you got rid of that part, and then you replaced all the gotcha puzzle fucking dungeons with actual honest to God Legend of Zelda dungeons, immediately 1,000 times better. Anyone who tells me that they truly believe the dungeon design decisions that they made in Breath of the Wild outpaces Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, fucking Skyward Sword, Wind Waker, literally any more traditional. I think you're out of your goddamn mind. I think you're just saying it because you like the game in general and you don't want to admit that there's a problem with it. But if you really think that holding the fucking thing around, like tilting the fucking shit around, the shitty little like, it felt like it was like a single room or two rooms, and it felt like I was playing like a non-Portal version of Portal, where you like walk into a room and it's like, okay, guys, we've got a new mechanic in here, and
it's like a shitty party game that you buy on shovelware on Steam or some shit. It's like, what the fuck is this?
And weapon degradation in games for me is already not my favorite thing, but when you make it as egregious as it was in that, how fast weapons degraded drove me nuts, because it got to the point where I'd have on my map, I'd have places pinned, whether they were Lionels or other hotspots for certain weapons and certain shields, that would allow me to know where I had to go after I did like a dungeon or two and my weapons were all dead. And I needed to go and replenish my weapon and shield supply. And so I'd go to the pinned locations on the map and have to go through this rotation of re-upping on all of my supplies. And like, which was fun maybe one fucking time at best. Honestly, I don't even think it was fun the first time. And then after that, it was just a chore. It was just padding game time. I just wanted to have my weapons. And when I found out about the Master Sword actually having energy, and then you had to like put that bitch away and wait for a while, I just fucking checked out. I finished the game at that point. I'd done like, I don't know what the percentage was. It was like well over half of all the available side dungeons and shit like that, and I was like, this is not it. And then when I found out about like the real meme, which was the 900 fucking Korok or whatever thing, and you get a golden shit statue at the end, I was like, are they just seeing if they can spit on players at this point and see if, everyone's gonna be cool with that, or like what the fuck is going on here? But they love it. And so, yay. Legend of Zelda Nuts and Bolts coming soon.